say good morning, everybody. This is Vitali here, Red Barn Productions, and we're going to get back to the shootings at Waco, Texas, as TwinPeaks concerning the Cossacks and the Banditos. And as many of you now know, mainstream media is now reporting what I've said from day one. They're also now reporting that the Cossacks were indeed invited to the event by the Banditos. They've also reported that corroborating witnesses have stated that the fight did indeed start out in the parking lot. Other witnesses have also stated that the fight did indeed start when a Bandito ran over a Cossack with his motorcycle and all hell broke loose. There's been enough to corroborate that I'll now take that as pretty close to what happened. Whether you believe it or not, that's up to you. So we're going to just jump off into the deep end right now and address the fact that law enforcement has continuously released statements to the press that the Banditos were gathering explosives to their members of the military so they could start a war with law enforcement. Again, that's couldn't be any farther from the truth than if I was to sit here and say I was the president. It's just not true. And a lot of you will take what law enforcement says to the press as gospel. I'm here telling you that they're just furthering their own agenda. The real story, if the Banditos were gathering up explosives, C4 and hand grenades, as law enforcement has continually stated, I don't feel that it would be to start a war with the police. I believe that would be to continue their war with the Cossacks. I assure you, the Banditos nor the Cossacks, neither one, have any intention of starting a full-blown war with law enforcement because they would have more to lose than they would gain. It's common sense. Please try using it. I realize that common sense is not a flower that grows in every person's garden, but we can cultivate it in hope. I stated from day one that law enforcement had their own agenda and that I questioned what their agenda was. And as the week has progressed, we've seen more and more that can lead us to speculate as to what that agenda might be. For over 40 years, law enforcement has been trying to wipe out the Banditos and shut them down, and just flat have not been able to get the job done. They released a press statement twice last week stating that the FBI, the DEA, the Drug Task Force, and Texas Department of Public Safety were going to form a joint task force and specifically target the Banditos and the Cossacks here in the great state of Texas. That leads us back to the shootings in Waco. There's been numerous reports in mainstream media stating that the Cossacks were not supposed to be there and that they were uninvited. And we now know that they were in fact indeed invited by a high-ranking member of the Banditos out of East Texas. I do believe that to be true. You can go back to the original press releases by Officer Swanton on the day of the shooting, and he stated all along that the police were there before the fighting ever started, that they were there before the meeting ever started. He had given conflicting reports on whether the officers were inside or not before it started. So in the interest of being fair, we won't even bring that up. One thing has never changed. from day one, they've always said that law enforcement was there in anticipation of the events that were going to happen and unfold. They said that they had intelligence uh, stating that they knew there was going to be an incident at Twin Peaks that day. And I think that they didn't have intelligence. I think if we had access to their phone records, we would find that indeed the same bandito that called the Cossacks and invited the Cossacks to attend called law enforcement and told them that the Cossacks were going to be there and that there was going to be an incident. I think that's a lot closer to the truth. You can dispute it, you can argue with me, we can debate it. I don't know it for 100% fact, but there's been enough said that an intelligent person could reach that conclusion, so we're just going to leave it at that. But I believe that if we had access to the phone records, that we would actually find that the banditos set this up from the very beginning to happen. And people are like, well, why would law enforcement allow it to happen? Well, like I said, they've already established that they have their own agenda, and they've been working for years to get rid of groups like the Banditos. And if you look in the press and listen to them in all their TV interviews, there's one word that they use over and over and over, and that's gangs. When in fact, these groups are not gangs. But they use that word gang so they can use legislation that's already in place, anti-gang legislation, to attack these motorcycle groups. Here's the thing. Law enforcement doesn't care if they have to throw every single mom and pop motorcycle club in the world under the bus to do it. And the other side of that coin is that most of these mom and pop motorcycle clubs, the innocent clubs, have become members of the COC, which is in fact was established by the Banditos and to this day is controlled by the Banditos. So that they will find that has actually come to bite them in the ass. You don't have to take my word for it. You can go Google it and research it. It's a fact. And like I said, all you members of the COC, you'll find that laying down with the devil has just come back and bit you in the ass. I mean, because, you know, what do you expect when you join an organization that is founded by criminals and to this day is controlled by those same criminals? It would probably be in y'all's best interest for every single one of you to pull out of the COC and form your own type of COC and restrict, you know, members to law-abiding citizens. There's going to be a lot of people that will disagree with that and debate it and tell you how it's the status quo and that's the way it's always been, that we have to respect it. No, we don't. No, we don't. Wake up, America. You know, like I said, common sense isn't a flower that grows in everyone's garden, but we can cultivate it in hope. Disagree with me all you want to, but common sense should tell you that it's never okay to climb in bed with criminals and do business with criminals and expect that it's all going to work out well. Because most of the time it does not. All you got to do is look at Waco this past weekend. How'd that work out? I'm not saying that all Cossacks are saints and that they're entirely innocent in the matter. I am saying that they are indeed, in fact, the victims. The American public, you need to be careful about making judgments based on what mainstream media tells you, and this isn't just to knock mainstream media, because they report what they're told. They go out, they don't make the news, they report the news, and nowadays it is indeed biased reporting. Government officials, law enforcement officials, big business, they all understand that public opinion is a very powerful tool, and when need be, an extremely powerful weapon. And they will use it as a tool or a weapon, whichever suits their needs. And you'll find that in this case, law enforcement is using it as a weapon. All you have to do is look at TwinPeaks. They throw TwinPeaks under the bus Sunday. Come Monday, TwinPeaks was out of business. All I would say is when it comes to things that concern the public, don't take it at face value. Do your research. Look into it. There's a lot of you out there today that are trying to turn this into a racist issue, and all I have to say is shame on you. Shame on you. That's what's wrong with America today. And it's not just white people being racist. It's black too. I can sit here and look over to the right of this screen over on YouTube and see 5 different videos where somebody has put up some video reporting on the Waco shootings and calling it a white-on-white crime. America, what are we going to do about it? Blah, 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 blah. Has nothing to do with race. I will offer this. This is speculation on my part, but I think that indeed we will be seeing some more conflicts between the Cossacks and the Banditos as time rolls on. And we will find that law enforcement has indeed targeted anybody that rides a motorcycle and wears a patch. Now, many of you are probably going, why should we care if the government targets anyone wearing patches, especially outlaw motorcycle groups and all that? Well, all I'm saying is you need to pay close attention to America, because by allowing them to target motorcycle groups that wear patches, you're allowing them to set precedence. And what I mean by that is if you allow them to do this, then down the road they're going to target any other group that they see fit, and they've already established precedence. I mean, somewhere down the road it may be deemed inappropriate that we have a Boy Scout group of America, and the Boy Scouts of America, they indeed wear patches on their uniforms. They may deem somewhere down the road that it's inappropriate for us to have a Girl Scout group of America. Well, the Girl Scout groups of America do indeed have patches on their uniforms. I'm not saying that they will. I'm just saying that this could possibly happen somewhere down the road. And by allowing them to attack motorcycle riders as a whole, based just on the fact or not that they wear patches, you're setting precedence. Many of you are probably like, oh no, here goes the nut, here goes the conspiracy theorist. No, I'm just pointing something out. I mean, stop and look, America. Christianity is already under attack in America. You see it every single day on the news, to the point where people are taking down the American flag at schools. And wait a minute, this is America. Since when is it inappropriate to fly the American flag at school? Stop and think about it. That's all I'm saying. Stop, think about it. Do not for 1 second think that just because you don't care about something or you disagree with it, that it doesn't matter in the everyday world. You'd be very surprised as to how this could come back and affect something that you care about down the road. This is Vitality at Red Barn Productions, and y'all have a good morning.
What we have here is a failure to communicate. Corpses lying in the street, ashes falling from the sky, people dead every day. People killing each other for no reason at all, just because. Think it's the right thing to do. What we have here is an urban dysfunction. Streets full of blood and corpses lying around with ducks and dogs. All sorts of bite just all over the place. For no reason. No reason at all. It's an urban dysfunction. Nobody's function. Society dominated. The families, yeah, they love you know, good days. They're getting treated like they're dying.
But they were just having fun until the laws showed up.
Do we really want to go down this road?
Yeah, let me tell you how this is gonna go.
We already know how this is going to go.
Let me tell you how this is gonna go.
We already know how this is going to go. But on the other hand, we do have God-fearing men who really give it. They don't, you know, just do things for no reason at all. I mean, they do things and work you. You're not supposed to spontaneous.
But they're not having no fun.
No, they're not, you know, some of them do that, but I don't.
Time to break out the sledgehammer.